Bad Bunny is the soundtrack to an ICE raid. On July 30th, the official White House TikTok account uploaded a video showing armed agents detaining migrants. Playing over the clip was Bad Bunny's political track, LA Mudanza. The irony is brutal. LA Mudanza is a song dedicated to working class parents and Puerto Rican resistance against state suppression. It literally references the 1948 gag law, a law historically used to silence political dissidents. On top of that, Bad Bunny himself publicly called out ICE on national TV at the Grammys. Yet there it was, a track built on anti-authoritarian pride, stripped of its context and repurposed as hype music for government enforcement. People were furious, but this isn't an accident. It's co-optation. It's what happens when art, language, or culture gets hijacked and turned into a tool for the very system it was built to criticize. And the uncomfortable truth is, most people make that exact same trade every single day. Think about standing in a supermarket checkout lane. The card reader flashes a prompt asking to donate to charity. The plastic receipt machine hums, waiting for a signature. In that small transaction, a quiet compromise happens. You're tired, the groceries are on the belt, and you press no. The transaction clears, the receipt prints, and you walk out to a parking lot where the asphalt is steaming from the afternoon heat. In that tiny moment, immediate convenience won out over a bigger principle. That's how compliance works. It rarely starts with a grand betrayal. It starts with small daily trades. Look at how people handle the modern workplace. You sign a contract packed with non-disclosure clauses and social media guidelines that dictate what's acceptable to care about off the clock. You sit in a flat-lit conference room, nodding along to hollow corporate slogans because rent is due next week and the car needs a new transmission. All that energy, creativity, and drive gets harvested, stripped of personality, and reformatted into bullet points on a slide deck for someone else's promotion. The lie people tell themselves is that it's temporary, that the person sitting at the desk laughing at the boss's tired joke is just an actor playing a character for 40 hours a week. How long can anyone fake a persona before the act just takes over? This habit usually starts in childhood. Kids watch their dads drop into a soft, cautious tone when the landlord calls. They see their mothers smooth over insults at the dinner table just to keep a holiday from falling apart. The lesson is learned early. Survival means shrinking down. It means letting the name, time, and labor get used to score points for someone else as long as the direct deposit lands on Friday. It's a legacy passed down through generations who learned that standing tall only makes a person a target. So the cleanup begins. People shave off their real opinions to stay employable. Resumes get fed into HR algorithms, swapping out real human voices for sterile corporate buzzwords like synergies and deliverables. In the modern workplace, a person's voice isn't their own. It's leased to an employer. On weekly video calls, expressions stay locked in forced enthusiasm, while keystroke trackers and activity monitors record every move. The narrative becomes, the real me is safe at home. People buy a house at the end of a suburban road, plant a garden, play their favorite music loud in the car with the windows down, and pretend they've carved out a space the system can't touch. They think if they save enough, climb high enough, or change zip codes, they can wipe the slate clean and finally afford to stand up straight, except that boundary is an illusion. The bank holds the deed to the sanctuary. The company logo is printed on the check that pays for the garden. One afternoon, a single email arrives or a new policy gets announced, and that wall between real life and survival completely collapses. The system doesn't negotiate, it just reclaims the territory, proving the compliance was never temporary. It was the whole deal. The direct deposits hit the account on the same day every month, a digital leash keeping everyone aligned with the script. Back on TikTok, the White House account goes silent. The video remains on the server. The migrants are still standing by the fence, and the audio track is blank. The song was stripped away, but the enforcement moved right along without it.